Hi everyone, it's Yaya for jeuxmobile.com and we are back today with a selection of games released in March to keep you busy in April. I've selected a few games from major IPs as well as enjoyable indie games, but of course there are other mobile games to discover on jeuxmobile.com. Sit back, like the video to support us, and follow us on Instagram where we post exclusive content every day. The link is in the description. As Gameloft turns away from the mobile market to produce PC and console titles, gamers are wondering what alternative they can find to the Asphalt IP. The answer may be a futuristic racing game published by NetEase called Ace Racer. This arcade-feeling racing game uses directional keys for driving rather than a gyroscope, but fills the screen with neon-lit cars and a cyberpunk atmosphere. On beautiful and very non-linear tracks, test your driving skills by choosing from one of the three available roles: Interceptor, Speedster, and Supporter. By creating a balanced team with other players, you can take on the different racing modes to achieve full dominance on the track. Ace Racer also allows you to customize your driver and vehicle with an extremely precise editor that would almost be worthy of Black Desert. So use your Nitro and overtake at full speed from the right on the game's futuristic tracks in your Porsche 911, Nissan GT-R, or one of the other officially licensed vehicles. The game's performance is excellent, the gameplay is enjoyable, and the controls are less easy to pick up than those of other titles like Kart Rider Drift, for example, but the result is quite original for a modern racing game, with cars that fly, jump, and light up with bright neon colors. With no energy system, play as much as you want and expand your collection of vehicles with the gacha system to compete with the somewhat tough AIs. Ace Racer is an easy game to recommend, but its controls can feel a bit clunky at first, although I doubt that it will stop racing game fans out there from giving it a try this month. This month, Netflix gets a quality exclusive with the release of Highwater on Android and iOS via its standard subscription. Widespread climate catastrophe is not far off, and in Highwater it's the rising waters that have gained ground by flooding the entire area. Normal people are doing what they can to survive while the rich are preparing their one-way ticket to Mars protected by high walls guarding their Alphaville territory. In Highwater, you're on the wrong side of the wall, but you intend to change things. Sail the half-sunken world and make encounters and discoveries to maximize your chances of survival. Despite a limited lifespan, Highwater is a high-quality title with interesting tactical battles and a simple but effective story. The graphics are beautiful, the atmosphere is clearly there, and all you have to do is climb aboard your skiff and listen to the pirate radio to fully immerse yourself in the Highwater experience, hoping to get through the saving bugs. After the slightly messed up release of Lost Centuria, Chronicles finally takes over the Summoner's War IP with success for its players. Play as one of the three summoners, Cleef in melee, Orbia as a mage, or Kina in support, and build your team of monsters from the iconic creatures of Sky Arena. With revamped skills, over 400 monsters find their place in the realm of Rahil, between light, dark, water, fire, and wind elements. All usual grinding mechanics for tryharders are there. Farm day and night to rune up your monsters, awaken them, increase their skill level, and bring them to level 70 to dominate the game in PvE and PvP. Alone or with allies from your guild, explore the 6 continents and enjoy this first 3D MMO of the Summoner's War IP. For a game released in 2023, Chronicles benefits from colorful graphics and a very rich lore, but struggles with some basic things like clipping objects in the environment and loading times. Honestly, you'll skip all the dialogues and play in automatic mode as soon as you're out of the dungeons. Thus, Summoner's War Chronicles is a very complete game that will delight IP fans, but also those who are looking for a game where theory crafting the best team composition will take all available hours of day and night. Don't be afraid to get lost in the menus, you'll have to chase exclamation marks to compensate for the lack of generosity in the pity system, but you'll really enjoy the game in the multiplayer phases. Now I would like to introduce you to the Idea game that has just been released on iOS. This simple and elegant arcade game uses the world as its playground. Travel through sky views of global landscapes, roads around the world, parking lots, and vacant lots in 4K by propelling and rolling your Idea bulb. Bounce off houses, slide down fences, and zigzag between trees to roll without stopping. In this crazy race, collect as many light bulbs as you can and enjoy the world in a unique bird's eye view with no loading time from one screen to another. As soon as you get stuck somewhere, however, it's game over. But you leave behind a personal idea. In fact, at the end of the game, you can enter a message at the location of your light bulb stop. And just like in Dark Souls, if someone passes by and manages to pick up your idea, they can read your message. Whether it's an interesting thought, music lyrics, or an Instagram quote, your ideas will end up scattered across the great web of the world. Idea is a poetic and artistic little game that reconnects the world by retracing its roads with a bit of fun physics. Skip the big ideas and instead enjoy the poetry of blood-red stains on a grey background with the Mighty Doom roguelite and its hordes of demons to slaughter. Controlling a miniature slayer equipped to slaughter an entire army clears stages of enemies one by one. While the overall gameplay is obviously Archero-inspired, movement is more dynamic in Mighty Doom since you don't have to be standing still to shoot. The virtual joystick in the middle of the screen is not very convenient, but it keeps the game playable. With a top-down look on the fight, continuously shoot enemies from a distance or get closer to perform glory kills in melee. For each level gained, choose a new upgrade and try to go further and further into the mini-hell to gain loot and upgrade your character between games. Grinding and RNG are obviously at the core of the game, but if, like us, you are a bit disappointed with Tomb Raider Reloaded, Mighty Doom is a game that convinced us way more. That doesn't stop it from being a Bethesda-signed Archero skin, but it's the best clone released in a while and still brings some different mechanics like melee combat and the use of a secondary weapon. For all we know, the game might keep you late at night to master each character to the full power of their playstyle and complete their quests. One of the big releases this month that I can recommend if you're a strategy fan is obviously Call of Dragons, the new title published by Lilith Games under its Farlight label. As in Rise of Kingdoms, you will be able to build your city, produce resources, train troops, collect heroes to lead your army, develop advanced technologies, join an alliance, and take part in large-scale battles in PvE and PvP on a huge open server. But there's more to the game too, as you'll now have flying units to send into battles and possibly even legendary creatures thanks to the new Behemoths game mechanic. With your alliance members, when you're not beating up other groups of players at 4 AM for control of the territory, you'll have the option of hunting down a behemoth in a group. And if you manage to take down this aggressive HP bag, it will join your army as a secret weapon to be deployed during a future battle. Call of Dragons looks like an improved version of Rise of Kingdoms with enchanting graphics and a fantasy world that makes you want to dive in, available for free on Android and iOS right now. You don't necessarily have to fall into fantasy to find a colorful and vibrant world. Terra Nil, the game from Devolver Digital, available via your Netflix subscription on Android and iOS, bets on giving back its colors to the earth damaged by human activity. In this reverse city builder, you don't build buildings on beautiful grasslands to raise to expand your economy. Instead, you must bring the natural ecosystem back to life. On land, in water, in the forest, by the rivers, each deserted and ravaged biome was once home to lush flora and fauna that you must restore. To achieve this, construct buildings and develop technologies that will restore the natural beauty of the varied and procedural terrain for totally unique gameplay. Terra Nil offers a serene experience without pollution or infinite growth. Its meticulous art direction perfectly complements the hand-painted scenery and soothing soundtrack. Once the land is green and lush again, it's time to activate the self-destruct mode, much like Inspector Gadget's messages. You will then need to recycle your buildings and completely erase your human presence. The earth will now belong to the animals and you will give them a beautiful farewell gift. Sublime as much in its concept as it is in its realization, Terra Nil is a little nugget not to be missed, available via Netflix games. And the idea that nature is more important than capitalist growth is completely the opposite to the next game I'm going to tell you about. Next in this top is the board game Monopoly Go, coming out this month with new boards and its digital version edited by Scopely. On real or fantasy world boards, take part in Monopoly sessions that are crazier than ever. The pace of games is faster, the mini games involve everyone helping each other or betraying each other with the community box, and the money flies in all directions on your screen. Accumulate properties to build your portfolio, build houses, place your hotels, make good use of the monuments on the board, and keep generating even more money. Instead of joining the crypto bros, come and make virtual gold with properties of the same color and make other players pay more and more. With betrayals, shenanigans with the bank, exorbitant prices, and theft of money between friends, Monopoly Go has plenty of surprises in store. You can even participate in in-game Monopoly tournaments for maximum capitalist PvP, or join many events with revamped rules. So if you feel like rents keep going up, you might as well blow them out of the water and take over as many iconic locations as possible in Monopoly Go when the game launches this month. Modern betrayal with lots of money is pretty cool, but nothing beats the chainsaw in the back like Munchkin does it. This month, the famous card game comes to mobile with Munchkin Digital for €10 with an English version. Brought to us by Steve Jackson Games, this digital version of the dungeon crawler game combines even more twists and turns. Create a single-player game or join a group in cross-platform online multiplayer and choose a race and class to start the adventure with a new character. During the game, betray, steal, and manipulate your friends while slaughtering monsters in an attempt attempt to obtain as much treasure as possible. Most importantly, do everything you can to get to level 10 first without fear of stepping on your friends with a pair of hemorrhoid summoning boots. If you enjoy IRL card games and absurd fantasy humor, then Munchkin Digital is a purchase that will fit perfectly in your mobile game library. Slay the Spire and other roguelite deck builder fans, hold on to your strategies and enjoy the full release of the excellent Breach Wanderers on mobile right now. It is a bit ugly, but it's definitely worth a shot. In Breach Wanderers, create completely custom decks for each of your games. A deck consists of one of 10 heroes, powers, and magic cards to fend off the hordes of monsters in the Rift. With each victory, you'll unlock unique cards and play with original game mechanics from the 1000 cards available. Remember to return to the city once you have accumulated resources. You'll find plenty to rest, upgrade your stuff, adjust your decks, buy items, and unlock new game elements. Highly inspired by Slay the Spire without being a ripoff, Breach Wanderers will keep the most strategic among you up late at night to master each character to the full power of their playstyle and complete their quests. The game is available for free on Android and iOS in English. Let's face it, the bunny is going to die. That's the starting point of the indie game Poor Bunny that I recommend you try out this month. You play as a cute little bunny who has to collect as many carrots as possible while avoiding traps like jigsaws, cannonballs, arrows falling from the sky, and other killing objects. You only have one objective, not to save the bunny, who is bound to die, but to reach the highest score possible on that game level. It's a bit like Flappy Bird, but much more brutal. The big plus of Poor Bunny, besides being free, is that you can play with a friend on a single tablet screen, for example to collect carrots in a common pot, or to see who will get the best score in the general panic and versus mode. If you like games like Daily Deadish that we recommended last month, Poor Bunny is another challenge in a similar genre that you might just like. I can already hear some screaming in the intergalactic void that there hasn't been a gacha in this month's top so far. Far from being revolutionary, Starborne Frontiers has all the makings of a classic gacha game with a space skin, and it works. In the 2400s, you build your fleet of ships to fight against the domination of big companies that rule space. Of course, you'll need to collect, upgrade, and optimize that fleet to deal with the pirates and other threats that surround you in the abyss. Your squad will be selected from almost 100 spaceships with unique skills, and you'll be able to order them in formation and set a strategy for your automatic battles. Explore the game's entire lore through the 10-chapter campaign, battle other players in PvP, or join an alliance, and learn how to conquer space together in Starborne Frontiers, available for free in English on Android and iOS. The return of spring is the perfect opportunity to create a new settlement on mobile in a polished city simulation game. So Settlement Survival, available for €5.50 on Play Store and App Store, will surely convince you to build your own little empire. Create your city from the ground up, harvest, hunt, and collect resources to develop a flourishing trade. From producing goods, constructing new buildings, expanding the city, developing new technologies, to creating sustainable trade, everything is in your hands in Settlement Survival. You'll even have to deal with specific problems such as an aging population, which means managing demographics to keep a balance for growth. And to ensure your rapid development, choose to specialize or expand in the various industries available. Later on, you'll be able to trade resources with other cities by caravan to supplement what you don't produce. Settlement Survival still lacks a few elements of the PC game to be fully complete, but it's a solid cross-platform game that will fit any game library. The graphics of Breach Wanderers have surely stung your eyes, so why not turn to a 100% audio game? This is the case of Project Dark, a game which invites you to close your eyes and project yourself completely into the sounds you hear. You can enjoy a uniquely designed soundtrack with your headphones for maximum quality and audio fidelity. After the success of A Blind Legend, Project Dark collaborates on the audio game format with an interactive and narrative adventure set in a medieval fantasy world. To progress through the story, you'll have to swipe at every decision, just like in the Rain series. On your journey, meet NPCs, get to know them, and base all of your decisions on the voices and the sounds you hear. Project Dark is split into 6 episodes in English, each with a unique story to be purchased separately or discounted as a pack. Another indie game in this top, the puzzle game LINEA, reveals its most beautiful colors this month. With your fingertips, trace the path of light to reveal the world around you. Relax with a very simple puzzle-solving mechanic, go through a certain number of points to get to the end without crossing your path where it is forbidden to do so. Simple and effective, LINEA's gameplay is coupled by design to its narrative. Each completed puzzle unlocks a new line of dialogue and makes you progress in a short story with its own characters, places, and emotions, so you can help the characters that cross cross your path while taking on a little cerebral challenge in a relaxed way. LINEA is the perfect example of a mobile game with short story pieces and more complex phases that combine for a very practical pocket format. The game runs on a rather chill soundtrack and background art while spicing up the challenge with fireflies as a secondary objective to reveal all the secrets of LINEA. This title, made by Infinity Games, is available in English for free on Android. The last game in this top is neither completely new nor completely old. Dead by Daylight Mobile has just released its brand new version after a pre-registration phase. The mobile multiplayer horror game has been completely reworked with NetEase in charge of its development. Dead by Daylight Mobile is back with improved graphics that integrate the physics of clothes and hair, dynamic lighting for a more immersive atmosphere, and a change of camera. On top of that, you can discover new characters like Sadako the Ghost Girl, even if other characters like killers are missing in this new version. Fortunately for players who already had an account, all purchases in progress have been fully transferred to this version 2.0 of the game. During your sessions, join a squad of 7 players with team missions and an improved chat system. Take advantage of the new quick match mode and accumulate victories to climb into the 2 new season leaderboards, one for ranking points and emblems and the other for a charisma score based on your styles and skins. Also take on the opportunity to fully customize your player profile. Overall, this new version of Dead by Daylight Mobile brings a lot of quality of life improvements, better graphics, a reworked social environment, but also some changes on the economical side that we hope won't slow down too much the free-to-play players out there. In addition, NetEase's plans include future anti-cheats and better integration for new players, so this is the perfect opportunity to discover or give another chance to this classic asymmetrical horror game with friends during the Sadako Rising event. And that's it, it's already the end of this top mobile games of April. I hope you enjoyed it, and as usual, if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and share the video, and of course subscribe to the channel. See ya!